For now, it looks like Minnesota liquor store owners won't have to worry about lighting up their open sign on Sundays unless the general public starts to voice their opinions on the issue. Last night's discussion contained talks about underage drinking, and future meetings will also contain the same kind of talks, as well as talks about drink specials at the bars. Because the sport requires a downhill ice slope, it can be a little bit harder for American competitors like Cameron to find a place to train. Frank did, however, say that one third-party candidate may play a role in determining the fate of a key swing state. The two presidential candidates will be taking their podiums tonight at 8, and you can watch the debate on most major news networks, as well as online via YouTube or Xbox Live. From St. Cloud, Brent Johnson, UTVS News. As you can see, everybody here is working diligently to make sure that this community is well served. ING has a tradition of doing this kind of work and expects to continue this tradition into its years as Capital One. From St. Cloud, Brent Johnson, UTVS News.
The American people are in crisis.
We've all suffered. The country is in really deep trouble.
Third-party candidates got their chance to take their podium last night for a debate, and while they didn't agree on most issues, 3 of them started their opening statements with a shared sense of urgency for the future of the United States. The debate included 4 candidates who are on the ballot in enough states to grant them a victory through the Electoral College. Jill Stein of the Green Party, Rocky Anderson of the Justice Party, Virgil Goode of the Constitution Party, and Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party all took part in the event. Tim Davis, a third-party Senate candidate, believes that those who want change should take the time to look outside of the mainstream media.
These were the 4 potential candidates that have a technical possibility of winning the White House with the Electoral College situation that we have. And the real problem is that mainstream media, no one knows who these people are. And I think that the growing ugliness of the Republicans and Democrats will shoot people toward third parties if they care at all.
While third-party candidates may not have a large impact on the election, Steve Frank, a political science professor, says they are good for raising issues that are sometimes ignored by the 2 major parties.
They are like an incubator of ideas and policies that sometimes get forgotten by the 2 parties and let alternative voices be heard.
Frank did, however, say that one third-party candidate may play a role in determining the fate of a key swing state.
Gary Johnson could be a factor, even though he's only going to get a tiny bit of vote. But in Ohio, which is probably going to conceivably be counting all night into the next day, he could have an impact. And the conventional wisdom is that if he gets more than a % or 2, that would come out of the Romney vote.
Reporting from St. Cloud, Brent Johnson, UTVS News. That family just arrived in the area after taking a 20-hour trip from Washington last week. However, that trip wasn't even close to the amount of time that they'll get to spend together from now on. Devin and Melissa Sesnick and their 5 kids packed up their things and started a new life here in St. Cloud. After spending 12 years in the military, Devin decided to retire, and the couple jumped into a business opportunity that had presented itself to them at the Bounce Depot in Waite Park.
Moving back to Minnesota was a sacrifice as far as desires were concerned, but as far as what God would have for us, this provided that best opportunity for us.
While Devin gained some valuable experiences from his time in the military, he also missed out on some experiences with his family.
My wife pretty much was raising our son alone. I'd get little snippets of time with them and really missed out on a lot of milestones that could never get those moments back. But I signed up and volunteered to do it, so I knew it wasn't without sacrifice.
Melissa, who spent 9 years running a daycare of her own, is especially excited about the opportunity.
I'm excited that we can do this as a family, and I'm really excited that he'll be out of the military and we get to kind of pick where we live. We'll be able to be close to family. It's really nice that we get that opportunity.
Devin expects things to be a little different with the people he'll spend his time with due to the difference in ages and life experiences.
They're just so innocent that it's refreshing, as opposed to working with people that have kind of become cynical about the world.
It's a big life change, but it's one the family appears to appreciate. Tomorrow is National Coming Out Day, and after a proclamation and an email sent to all St. Cloud State students, SCSU President Earl Potter III acknowledged that the school supports the LGBT community. President Potter's message says that in order to enhance diversity at the school, the LGBT community and their allies must feel secure enough in their environment to be visible and unthreatened.
President Potter proclaiming that National Coming Out Day is October 11th, and St. Cloud State University acknowledges that is a signal, a nod to the community that he is of and in support of, and the university is in support of creating those environments that are welcoming and safe for all students, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity.
National Coming Out Day is to commemorate an LGBT rights and equality march that happened in 1987. The march was the first significant act of people coming together and saying that it's okay to live their lives out and become visible in an invisibilized community. I also spoke with one SCSU student to explain the significance and the importance of coming out.
The significance to National Coming Out Day would be to rid yourself of that oppressed feeling. Because if you were to be in the closet, you're not living true to yourself, and coming out is it's an amazing feeling. Yeah, you may lose friends, family, but you breathe easier.
The day is part of LGBT History Month and is one of many things the campus is participating in to stop homophobia. For more information on other events happening, visit our website at utvsnewsnow.com. Cameron Noss is an SCSU student skating his way into extreme sports history. Cameron took 3rd overall last weekend at the Red Bull Crashed Ice event in St. Paul. This sport, ice cross downhill, is a new experience for many Americans, including Cameron's roommate.
I was actually blown away. It was actually, like 150,000 people showed up. And it was just crazy because I was just like, wow, I didn't think the sport was actually going to get this much hype. And, over a couple of years, it really did grow. And it was a great experience being there. It was intense.
Cameron's experience shows that knowing the right people can have its benefits.
A friend of mine that goes to school here works for Red Bull, and he thought I'd be good at the sport, and I was just planning on attending last year. And 2 weeks before the event, he came up to me and he said, I have this prospect pass, it's basically a golden ticket into the event. I ended up going for it. I was ranked the top American in that event, and I've been doing it ever since.
Because the sport requires a downhill ice slope, it can be a little bit harder for American competitors like Cameron to find a place to train.
Other countries like Finland, Sweden, and now in Austria, they have permanent tracks. Those guys are getting to skate downhill year-round, whereas we don't, so it's a little disadvantage to us, but hopefully we can get something one of these days here.
Cameron has seen a little spike in his celebrity status.
Recently, my parents were super excited. I was in the New York Times this weekend.
But he says that he doesn't feel it on a daily basis.
It's been kind of nuts, but I'm still just hanging out, normal guy. Still have to work a 9 to 5 up here and go to school, so I feel the semi-celebrity status when I'm at the events, but other than that, I don't really see a huge difference.
And he has plenty of support from his family and his friends.
It's still kind of fresh. When he starts, I don't know, some crazy things start happening, we get to flown out somewhere, hopefully, or like some crazy thing, then yeah, I'll be part of the entourage. But for the most part, just the roommate at the moment.
Brent Johnson, reporting for UTVS News. City workers and business owners alike are digging in to help remove some of the snow covering up roads and sidewalks in St. Cloud.
I've been out shoveling twice so far this morning, once before the plow came through and then once afterwards.
While the workers have been trying to clear off the pavement all day, things can get a little harder with cars on the road, so a snow emergency was called.
A snow emergency, all that does is instead of getting a ticket for illegally parking, it allows the ability for to be towed.
Thankfully for St. Cloud citizens, that means that all the parking rules that are normally in place will stay the same. After cars have been moved from the street, the snow emergency still serves another purpose.
It heightens awareness of the importance of making sure people use caution when they're driving, and if it's not absolutely necessary to be driving, they shouldn't be out driving.
As for business owners trying to keep their sidewalks cleared, they are also concerned about safety.
It's got to be inviting, open, they got to feel like they can safely get in and out of your business without breaking their necks.
Reporting for UTVS News, Brent Johnson.